and welcome to the Residual Royalty Academy. Welcome to a brand new video. Apologies if I sound a bit bunged up. I think I've got a bit of a blocked nose, but please bear with me. So in this video, we're talking about my first year on KDP. So today is Sunday the 29th of March as I'm filming this video, and as you can see I opened my KDP account on the 31st of March 2019, so it's been pretty much 1 year since I've been publishing on KDP, and you can see that my first books actually here were in review on the 1st of April, and funnily enough they got rejected because the cover requirements were wrong, or the cover size or the cover dimensions were wrong, should I say. And you can probably relate to that because I know a lot of people when they first start on KDP have problems getting the books through the review process, but with the help of my channel and hopefully with some of the resources I've provided, hopefully you don't have that problem for too much longer. So in this video I'm talking about how my first year has gone on KDP, what I've done well, and also what mistakes I've made. So I think this is going to be a really great video, and hopefully you can learn a few things and you can take away them and apply them to your own business to do even better than I've done so far in my first year. So let's look at this graph. So you can see that April here was around $80. It took me around 2 weeks until I even sold my first book, and I uploaded around 90 books before I even made my first sale. So if you're in that really initial process, then just keep going, because really a lot can happen in a year and in a short space of time, but you just got to get through that tough part at the start. So you can see here this month was 80, as I say. May was around $300, June was over $1,000, which was absolutely fantastic thanks to some Father's Day books that were selling really well. July here was around 500 or 600, August was around 700, September was around 800 or 900, and then October was the first month that I went over 1,000 without being a bit of a fluke. Kind of June was a bit fluky because of those Father's Day books that took off, but then October, November went crazy, over $2,000. December went even crazier, 4 or 5 times the normal sales because of Q4. Obviously that was absolutely incredible, and I've now been paid those royalties, which is absolutely phenomenal, and now I'm reinvesting those royalties into high content books, 30,000 word books. You can see here January was over 1,000, February was over 1,000, and March is going to be over 1,000 by the time the month finishes, which is absolutely fantastic. But there is some things that I've learned and some things that I've been doing wrong since about November, and I'm going to cover those in just a second so you can avoid the mistake that I've made and do better than I have. So let's look up this graph. This is the graph again from Book Report, just like this one is here, and this shows all of my books. So you can see this is my best-selling book. This one's around $900. This one is probably around $700, and these ones over here, the white ones, that means that the line is so small that you can't see it. So those books maybe have only sold once or twice, and they make up such a small proportion of the overall total that you can't even see them. But without publishing these ones, I would never have got to these ones, because maybe this one here is in the same niche as this one, just as an example. So maybe I published 10 in this niche, but only this one did well, only this design did well. So you can't really get to this book here having a lot of sales until you make all these ones down here, which is why it's important to stay consistent and publish as many books as you can. So let me now take you to the total. So you can see here almost $16,000 between April 2019 and March 2020 by those 1,543 books. So that means that each book over the course of 12 months or a year has made me roughly $10 each. So if I'd have actually made double the amount of books, I probably would have made double the amount of royalties. Now that's not an exact rule, but maybe you can use that and see how that compares to your royalties versus your number of books. Just let me know how that is down in the comments below. But what I want to do now is just go over some of the things that I've learned, some of the things maybe I've done well, and also the things that I haven't done well and what you can learn from. So the first thing is don't stop learning. So when we're children and we're in school, we get information forced down our throats and forced into our heads every day. Regardless of how good the information is at school or what they're actually teaching you, we are always learning and we're always kind of improving just from being in that learning environment every single day. And then when we grow up and we become adults, we stop learning, we stop reading, we stop taking courses, we stop going to classes. And that means that we just kind of stagnate and you get stuck in the same place. That's why children learn things so fast. And that's why children's brains are so much more wired towards learning, because they're just doing it every day. But one thing that I think I've done well is I've really immersed myself in the publishing communities. I join all the groups, I watch all the courses, and I just do as much as I can to always increase my knowledge. And then I can apply that to my own KDP account. So I'd really recommend just keep learning, pick some mentors, whoever you like, just learn from them and stick to what they tell you and just stay consistent and just keep going, and your royalties will soon increase, and hopefully you'll get some really good results from a low and no content business. So the number 2 point here is cover design and connecting with the customer is so important. So I think having a really aesthetic cover really helps, and some of my best books, the covers are really nice, And I think that really helps to sell the book. If you do want to learn how to make better covers, I do have a video about it. It will pop up somewhere up here now in the top right hand corner. And I also think that you've got to somehow connect with the customer emotionally. So whether you make them laugh, maybe whether you make them cry, maybe you make them upset, whatever it is on the cover, you've got to connect with the customer emotionally in order to get that purchase usually. So the third point here now is you can publish in big and small niches. I remember when I published those Father's Day books, it was around 10,000 results just for the Father's Day notebook niche. And that's a lot of results to kind of get through, but I still managed to get to the first page of the results and make a lot of money from those books. So don't be scared off by the big niches, but remember you can also publish in the small niches as well. So point 4 there is quarter 4 is absolutely crazy. You can see that November was probably double the normal sales and December was probably 4 or 5 times the normal sales, which is absolutely crazy. So if you're making $2,000 a month, then in December you're probably going to make $8,000. If you're making $1,000 a month, in December you're probably going to make $4,000 or $5,000, which is what I was doing. So that's absolutely phenomenal. And as I say, prepare now, build that library regardless of the current CV situation. I can't really say that word on YouTube anymore, otherwise I think that my videos, when I monetize them in the future, they're going to get demonetized, so I'm trying to avoid saying it, but you all know what I mean. It's a bit of a crazy situation right now, but keep building that library regardless of how the paperback sales are. You cannot go wrong when you have more books in your library. Point 5 now, you can't predict which books are going to do well and which ones aren't. So my best-selling book now has over $900 in royalties, and when I published that, I never thought that that book was going to do well. So don't overthink it, just keep publishing, and eventually you'll get books that start to do really well for you. And when you do get a book that's doing really well for you, you want to maintain that BSR, so ads can really, really help that. And if you do want to learn how to do ads, then I have a full module of almost 10 videos in the Royalty Accelerator course, and it shows you exactly what to do with your ads, manual and auto ads, in order to maintain those BSRs. So now let's go on to what were my biggest mistakes, and really there's only one. So from November, the start of Q4, I got really complacent. I was making $50 to $100 a day. I was out in Portugal, I was just on holiday, just chilling, making all of these royalties coming in, and I just got complacent. I stopped uploading low content books consistently, and I'd say since really November or October, I haven't been uploading the amount of low content books that I should be, and that's really the biggest mistake that you can make. And as you can see, my royalties kind of stagnated, so they were going up, 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 and then I kind of stopped making them, so now it's kind of coming down, 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 down. Now, arguably, I have actually been spending my time working on these 30,000 word books instead. I've got 6 books in the pipeline, so we'll really have to see how they do. Hopefully, they'll really explode my royalties, but if they don't, then I'm going to be a bit regretful that I didn't just keep uploading more low-content books. But of course, I'll let you know how that's going. And as it says here, most mistakes on KDP are just learning experiences. With low and no content, there's not really much way you can lose money, since it's a very low investment business model. You can make books for free, you can upload them for free, and maybe you buy a couple of courses, but it's really only time that you can lose. And if you do want to accelerate your journey, then you know what to do. Just take the Royalty Accelerator course. And there's a little PS down here. Be very careful of copyrights and trademarks. Learn everything you can about both of those subjects. Do some online research, read some books about it, just in order to keep your account and royalties safe. I've seen a few people fall victim to this over the last year, and the same applies for low quality, automated, valueless, terrible books. At worst, it's going to lose your account, or at best, the books are just going to get taken down because Amazon doesn't want these bad quality books on their system, as Amazon loves to provide a good customer experience, which is what we also want to do in order to sell more books. So I hope that you've enjoyed the video. If you've managed to get all the way to the end, then drop the 3 book emoji, not the 1 book emoji, the 3 book emoji, just so I know that you've got all the way to the end. Sorry if I sound a bit breathless or a bit bunged up. I seem to have a bit of a cold. Hopefully it's not the dreaded CV, but maybe it is, and maybe I will be dead by next week. Hopefully not. So if you have enjoyed the video, or if you have learned something, then please like it. Remember to drop that emoji if you've got all the way to the end of the video. Subscribe, and I'll see you next time.